Hey guys, Brian Connolly here. Absolutely loving No Shave November, and actually want to spend some time talking to you about what it is that's personally going on in my life. I actually haven't released this yet, and I feel like the time is right given what I believe some people are walking through. And I actually wrote down some notes here when I was thinking about sharing this word this morning with you guys. I felt in my heart, and even just coming from my own personal experience, I feel like there are just some people right now who are feeling worn down, battle worn, weary, and as if there's been a lot of pushback. And sometimes the most often way that comes is it's in the form of feelings, whether it's discouragement, disillusionment, the desire to give up, and despair, things like that. But here's the deal. There's something that I'm experiencing in my family that has to be one of the greatest things I've ever experienced. There's a massive restoration that's taking place right now, and I've come to find out that in the process of this restoration, in the life of a particular individual, but not just in the life of this one individual, but there's something that's taking place in and among my family. There's all kinds of things that are just being stirred up and awakened in a good way, but there's also some things that are being confronted and some things that don't want to budge. And I have just come to this conclusion that the enemy hates restoration more than anything. He hates the fact that redemption exists. He hates the fact that people like you and I can experience what it is that he can't experience. And the truth be told, you and I, even our salvation itself is a process of restoration. You're saved, you're redeemed by the finished work of the cross, by the blood of Christ, but you are also in the process of becoming what it is that you are. And the enemy fights hard at stopping what it is that you're becoming. The one thing he does not want ever in the life of any believer is for the light to come on in such a way that exposes him, his tactics, his schemes, the way that he works, his strongholds, the things that we're to tear down, because our weapons are not fleshly or carnal, but they're divinely powerful. So I was mindful as I was thinking about, the fact that there's so many of us, whether it's in your own life or in the lives of those around you, anytime that we're taking back territory, it's foolish, guys, to think that we're not going to experience any kind of resistance. It's the battle of kingdoms. We're born into a war, and this war has nothing to do with flesh and blood, but I couldn't help but to be mindful of the story of Nehemiah. And here's the scene. Nehemiah is this cupbearer. Nehemiah for the king. Nehemiah is this guy who catches this word about the fact that Jerusalem's walls are down. And before you and I were ever born again, our walls were destroyed. We were subject to so many different things. And even now, spiritually speaking, we have become the temple of God. We are that Jerusalem where God is rebuilding these walls to, that's holding in what's become holy and sanctified and what has become righteous. But here's the deal. Nehemiah catches this word. Nehemiah starts crying and identifying with the condition of Israel, with the condition of the people. And this is what it says here in Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 11. It says, "So I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days." This is Nehemiah talking. "And I arose in the night, and I and a few men with me. I did not tell anyone what my God was putting into my mind what to do for Jerusalem. And there was no animal with me except the animal in which I was riding." And I believe that there are things that God has put in your mind, things that you want to see restored, things that you want to see redeemed, things that you might even be, working towards, and you feel this pushback. You feel like there's this resistance. This will all make sense here in a little bit. It says, "So I went out at night by the valley gate in the direction of the Dragon's Well and onto the refuse gate, inspecting the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and its gates, which were consumed by fire." Here's the deal. He purposes in his heart, grab some people to commit themselves to this good work. But when Sanballat, this is verse 19, I'm skipping ahead, the Horonite and Tobiah the Ammonite official and Geshem the Arab heard it, they mocked us and despised us and said, "What is this thing you are doing? Are you rebelling against the king?" So I answered and said to them, "The God of heaven will give us success. Therefore we, his servants, will arise and build, but you have no portion, right, or memorial in Jerusalem." It goes on here in chapter 4 and verse 1. It says, "Now it came about that when Sanballat heard that they were rebuilding the wall, he became furious and very angry and mocked the Jews. He spoke in the presence of his brothers and the wealthy men of Samaria and said, 'What are these feeble Jews doing? Are they going to restore it for themselves? Can they offer sacrifices? Can they finish in a day? Can they revive the stones from the dusty rubble, even the burned ones?'" It also ends by saying, "Now when Sanballat," verse 7, "Tobiah the Arabs, the Ammonites, and the Ashdodites heard that the repair of the walls of Jerusalem went on, and that the breaches began to be closed, they were very angry. All of them conspired together to come and fight against Jerusalem and to cause a disturbance in it. Guys, that feeling, that discouragement, the despair, disillusionment, it is not from God. It's the fact that you guys have committed to a good work. And not only that, the work inside of you, God's finishing, Philippians 1:6. But a lot of what it is that I've been sensing in my own heart, that pushback, is because a restoration process has begun. And I believe that God right now, there's something that God is doing in families. There's something that God is obviously doing in the lives of the individual as far as healing the brokenhearted. But this was Nehemiah's encouragement, guys, to the people, to the Jews that he was with. He said, when I saw their fear, verse 14, Nehemiah chapter 4, I rose and spoke to the nobles, the officials, and the rest of the people. Listen to this, guys. Do not be afraid of them. Remember the Lord who is great and awesome. That's the key, guys. Who is it that's fighting for you? Who is it that's bringing about the restoration? And fight for your brothers. Come on, God's doing stuff in families right now, guys. Your sons, your daughters, your wives, and your houses. In other words, guys, be for others what they can't be for themselves. Stand up for the voiceless. Be the voice for the voiceless. Look upon the conditions of people and seek out to restore what it is that has been torn down. I believe now more than ever that we need endurance. That this is a time, guys, where Colossians says in chapter 2, as you've received him, so stand in him. Now is not the time to grow weary, throw in the towel. Now is the time, in the face of opposition, remember that the battle belongs to him. But I'm speaking to the discouraged, the weary, the ones who are saying, I can't do it anymore. I've been trying. I am telling you, now is not the time. Move forward. Understand who's on your side, who will never leave you. You are not alone. I'm telling you, God is redeeming and restoring not only families, but he is up to awesome things. Listen, guys, have an awesome time. Be encouraged. I will see you guys next week.